fellas, it's another episode of World 1-1 Podcast. Before we get into the meat and taters here, we're going to hit the usual rigmarole. You can and should find us at our home on Podbean at world11.podbean.com, all spelled out. You can, of course, pick us up on iTunes. I think iTunes is still a thing. Did they close iTunes? I heard they closed iTunes. I don't know.
It's Apple Podcast now.
Oh. Well, I should see if
we're still there. We're still there.
Nifty. Well, in that case, you can find us apparently on Apple Podcasts because iTunes is dead. Also, the Google Play Music Store, Spotify, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I think Instagram. I don't know what the hell's happening there. I've been busy. Fuck it. And iHeartRadio. So that's places to find us. Oh hell. So as always,
choose your fighter.
I am your host, Larry the Bearded Wonder. Joining me this fine evening, on rare occasion that everything apparently worked, Eddie Blackman V.
Super Mario Maker 2. I haven't started the game yet, and I brought it last week. But
it's not a game; it's a toolkit.
But I did go to the Nintendo Tour event, and I will talk about that.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Kathy, Lord of the Stream.
I'm back. I'm here. We're streaming. Holy shit! Feels like forever.
I know. It breaks my heart.
I missed you guys! Oh, wait, sorry. I'm too emotional today. I don't know if I can do this.
Hold on 1 second. Hey, Larry, you remember Colette Bennett from Retro Force Go?
Oh, God, yes.
Do you remember when she got excited to talk about Mega Man 9 on Wii?
Uh-huh.
Didn't Kathy just sound like that when she got happy?
All right. So, we're coming back to this in about 5 seconds. We are. And Josh the motherfucking LaCrue.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, so when Kathy first joined the show, before Kathy first joined the show, when Kathy and I first started talking, when we met by way of Twitch, I told Kathy, I said, there's this old fucking podcast I listen to religiously. I love it, adore it, and I miss that it's gone. And I told her, I said, I swear to Christ, when it was just voice, you sound exactly like this person. And I sent her a link, and she's like, I don't remember recording this. Because I told her she fucking sound like not just voice, but like personality and
cadence.
Sounds like fucking Colette Bennett.
Yeah.
It was kind of scary. I was like, damn it. If I didn't know any better, I'd say that was me, and I don't remember doing that shit. That was some good drugs I was on.
Right?
I need to get
just
that
for
shit
comparison's
again.
sake, I need you to, in these exact words, I'm Pom Pom, and I'm going to be your girl tonight.
What?
So one of the very first episodes of Retro Force Go, they did an intro, and it was Colette doing like a phone sex operator, and she goes, hi, my name's Pom Pom, and I'll be your girl tonight.
I don't know if I don't know. I don't act very well, so I'll just have to throw it in sometime. I'll have to try to remember that.
I'll send you the link to that exact episode.
Oh, please do, because now I'm gonna just throw it in some more in some podcasts. You will not know when it's coming.
It's gonna sneak in like 3 months when everyone's forgotten.
Oh yeah. Believe me, I will not forget, but you all will forget. And then it will be my shining moment. And on that note, then I will be gone. So, because I will never live up to that again.
Yeah, it was just like when you made the high pitch. I'm just like, oh, she sounds like Colette because she got Colette Bennett got happy on Retro
Kathy, check your chat.
I will.
No, like check it quickly.
Why? What the fuck?
I want to be aware. But anyways, so let's get into
Oh my gosh!
Video games.
we're gonna start with Eddie because I haven't talked to you in the fucking longest.
Right. So everybody, let me get quickly to what I've been playing. Phoenix Wright on Switch, and I'm gonna be jumping back to Breath of the Wild and Mario Maker 2. I'm gonna start creating levels and get the guys out and share with everybody. For PlayStation 4, I've been playing Tomb Raider, Mega Man 4. I downloaded Detroit, the deluxe version. Detroit Become Humans. It's a deluxe version. Funny thing though, it's like I already own the physical, but the digital version comes with the soundtrack, some themes, and some extra stuff in a digital art book. So I was just like, it's PS Plus, it's free, so I downloaded that and tried Overcooked, and I have a story about Overcooked 2 when I talk about the Nintendo Tour event.
I shit you not, Kathy and I were just fucking talking about Overcooked today.
We were.
Yeah.
We were, because I'm so excited that it's coming to the Epic Game Store for free.
Is it the first one or the second one?
It's the first one.
The first one. Okay. I think I need to play that game with more people because they give you 2 characters and you have to switch with the left and right trick on the PS4. And I think I gotta play more of it, but it doesn't seem fun with single players. With a single player.
Really not.
It really is designed for multiplayer, which is like kind of cool. Pretty much.
You want an accurate comparison? Because I've got one.
What you got?
Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time.
A game I still haven't played yet.
It's the same fucking shtick. It can be done single player, but it fucking shouldn't be. It should be done with the more people, the better.
More people, the better.
Uh-huh.
But they don't give you 2 characters to switch between, right?
Lovers? Ooh. No, I don't think they do.
Okay.
But it's the same thing, though. It's built for multiplayer, but can be played single player.
Single player, yeah. Okay.
So if you try and do it single player, you're gonna be fucking miserable.
Okay. I did do some more Final Fantasy 12, just like replaying that. And I was talking to Josh about Mega Man 4. How I think it's an unbalanced game. It's hard. It's difficult. Because I think the level design is kind of cheap in a sense, and I know it feels like they kind of did that to extend the length of the game. But part of the unbalanced part of it is about the pretty much the energy that they take off, and they try to get you to really use the Charge Buster in that game. But when the Charge Buster and the special weapons have a different take off of when you're working on doing some of the enemies and during some of the bosses, it feels unfair. Because definitely with like one of them is like this frog that you fight, and it's kind of like he shoots this bomb or something in the air and then it rains. Well, that delays and you can't shoot anything else, and while it has that delay, it barely takes off that much energy, and you are getting hit while you're trying to dodge one of the characters' attack and stuff, and it just feels unfair. Just like they didn't really think this through. But I am like close to the end.
I'm gonna argue with you on that.
Here we go, Josh.
I do
Get your
gotta
popcorn.
I do gotta get to Dr. Kravasiak or Krozak or whatever his name is. I gotta get through his tower, then go through Dr. Willy, then I'll be done with the game. Last but not least, for Xbox, I did Rage 2. I gotta do 2 more levels and then I'll be finished with the game. I got all the weapons and abilities. I kind of looked up where everything else was at, but I had almost half of the stuff unlocked and done anyway. So I just kind of needed the special abilities, and so I could go and just finish the game. It's okay. It gets very repetitive. Like it feel like they give you these minimal tasks that don't pay off to make the game longer and stuff. So it's an okay game, nothing like really worth it. I also played the Japanese version, the Famicom version of Contra. Same game with some cutscenes in Japanese with it, but there are some differences. I gotta play the Europe version and beat it. I can say the Famicom version is different because the animation of some of the backgrounds actually move than the Nintendo one, than the actual NES version. Because the Famicom was on the disc and not on the cartridge like the Nintendo, it was able to do more. And plus it had cutscenes and stuff, but it was all in Japanese, and it's like, oh, okay, yay. So
those cutscenes meant a damn thing.
Pretty much, yeah. So let me get quickly into the Nintendo Tour event. It came to Chicago. The games that they had. Yeah, the games that they had there was Mario Kart 8, Super Mario Maker 2. They had Overcooked 2, Ultimate Alliance 3, Pokemon Go, Smash Brothers, and they had another game there that for Switch that was already out. So pretty much the new ones was there was Ultimate Alliance 3 and Super Mario Maker 2. Super Mario Maker 2 is kind of explanatory of itself. The level that they had like 4 levels, all in the style of New Super Mario Brothers Wii. So they were really fun, very creative, really not too long. Really enjoyed them, just great. But Ultimate Alliance 3. It is a must-have game. I will say that I did enjoy it. Apparently, I got stuck with 2 kids and a mom, and so we all played on one Switch. And the only thing is because I think with that game, everybody has to move at the same time because you can't really leave that area of your own one Switch. So that might. If everybody is not working together and you're not paying attention to who your character is, you could lose where you're at, and you could actually get killed and hit by some enemies because someone else is not paying attention and doing what they're supposed to do.
If we weren't there, we would have rocked it. Yeah,
we would have knocked it. It's beautiful though. It's very action packed. It looks really good close up. I want to see what happens when everybody have their own Switch, because if you can move to the area without having while still connected with everybody, but if you're playing on your own system, if you can move around and everything, I think that would be fine. But if everybody has to move in a group, everybody really has to pay attention and work together for that game. Like it's a really great game. Team Ninja did a fantastic job. Animation looks good. Cutscenes are really funny and great. Like there's a lot of stuff that is really good for it. It may get like an 8.5 or a 9 depending on how long the game is going to be and how people play about it. And they forced us to play with a 4-player mode, so I couldn't experience in single player or anything. But it I will say I'm giving this game a thumbs up. It is some kind of a must-have to play, and I think it comes the week after Fire Emblem, which I wish it was there. Oh, Splatoon 2 was there. I forgot. I wish Fire Emblem 3 Houses was there to get my hands on it, but I think it's going to be better when I actually have the physical whole game, because I want to play through the battles. I want to see how working with the teachers and the students, I want to see how all of that plays out and stuff. And I think a demo there wouldn't do it justice. Got my tail kicked to Smash. Came in 4th place. But I did get some people out. I had a ball, and it wasn't so much where it was just like people fighting to get in first. It was just like, all this craziness and testing everybody's skill. It's just like it was so laughed out funny. So I did enjoy that. Now, Overcooked 2, I played with the Nintendo rep and 2 other people, and I fell out laughing. We was all working out like a team.
We're gonna make Kathy work tonight.
Well, Dylan looks like he's not video, so we're okay.
So I played Overcooked 2, and that definitely was fun. I like how the Nintendo rep, she was calling everything. She's just like, I need lobster, I need the sushi, I need the fish. And I was like, I got the fish, I'm cutting, putting stuff on the plate, and we were all working together, communicating, and it was funny and everything. Not trying to burn the food, washing the dishes and everything. We were having such a ball, and we all were really good serving the customers and everything. And it's a game that I look forward to buying, but I was just like, I have to hold off.
43.
I have to hold off to it until I get more people to like play with me and stuff. But overall,
headlights.
Oh wow. I did. And then he left. I did get. They were marking everything, so if you played 6 games, you was able to get a prize. And I think I got some Nintendo points and discounts and stuff for future games on my Nintendo account. They scanned the QR code and everything, so I was good to go with that. And I ended up with a Mario Maker 2 poster, so which was really good. What happened? Did I do something wrong?
Kathy and I are sharing a psychic link.
No, anything you said, it was just, yeah. The chat later.
What I said?
Nothing to do with
no,
what you
it
said.
had nothing to do with you, honestly. Dylan, oh my God, Eddie.
Okay.
Sorry, Eddie.
There was tech support shit happening in chat in the background.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I did get a map for that. And I did buy Super Mario Maker 2 from Target, so I do have Super Mario Maker 2 lunchbox. I'll post take pictures of it and post it later so you guys can check that out. But pretty much that's what I've been playing and what I experienced. Sorry for taking too long, everybody, but yeah, I've been playing a lot and stuff. So yeah,
it didn't take too long at all. I love hearing what you've been playing.
I'm gonna fucking fight you about Mega Man 4 though.
And I think I said Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. I was playing the PS4. So what you want to find me about on Mega Man 4? There.
Mega Man 4 is not unbalanced. Why is it, if it's so unbalanced, that it was the only Mega Man game that I could actually beat as a child? I still contend that Mega Man 4 is my favorite Mega Man game of the old school classics.
Did you play 1 to 3?
Mm-hmm. 4 was the one that I could beat as a kid. I don't know.
How can you not beat 3? 3 was kind of easy. I think 3 was easier.
2 was the
I don't know what it was, but 4 was the one that fucking clicked for me.
Really?
I shit you not.
That's
wow,
odd.
You sound so surprised.
Well, because of the level design in that game is unbalanced and at times unfair, and it's not so much the enemies and stuff. I think it's with jumping over the pits sometimes because they got more larger gaps in this
or
one.
Larry's just better at Mega Man 4 than you.
Well, I stuck with it. Like I stuck with it and everything, but it was just like it feels like because you can't actually land. Oh wow, you can't actually land on some things because they have an enemy coming and they got a big gap to it. What did I say?
Nothing. It's just what they do to you, Eddie. It's just terrible.
I'm fine with it. I think it's because at some points it's a big gap. Trying to jump over it, they'll just like miss the jump and die. So.
Oh hell. Josh, what have you been playing?
Oh, I've not been playing as much as I want to play.
Josh has been playing the real-life version of Real Estate Tycoon.
Yeah, pretty much. I've been refining my house and getting all that stuff set up. And just so, like a background, I bought another property behind my house, so it's a bunch of crap going on. I've been playing a little bit of R-Type. Dimensions. I know, Larry. You want to play it?
God damn it!
It's actually really good.
I don't just want to play it. I want that copy.
Yeah, it's not happening. Sorry.
I know.
Might let you borrow it, but when I come up.
That was short print, wasn't it?
Yep.
God damn it.
Yeah, this is copy 2245 out of 3,000. So.
Jesus.
But anyway, so I got that. I've been playing that a little bit. I didn't even get into the dig this week on Command Prompt. I've got to get back into that. So, yeah, I know, Kathleen. Everybody, I actually have emails from friends that have been watching me, and they're like, "Oh, we wanna watch."
Like, what happens next?
Yes, I know, and it's terrible. I just totally fell off the rails with it, but I'm gonna get back on.
Better.
Yeah.
I need to know what happens next, and I don't want to play it.
Right.
Shit, oh, reminds me, I gotta download some of those too.
Yeah, nobody wants to play it. That's why I'm doing it. So,
It's fun watching you go.
it
through
is a good
struggle.
game. It is a really good game. It's a good game. It's just that it's one of those, like Larry and we talked about this too before. You have to get it back into that kind of point and click adventure game mode. It's a different mode to get you into.
See, and those are games I never played, so it's nice. I don't want to play them because I'm used to the fast pace, but I want to watch other people play them so that I can at least see the story and the gameplay and experience it.
Right, and it's getting good, so I've got to get back into that.
It's not even just pacing either. It's like when you get into like 90s point and click, there's a certain way of thinking because most of the devs were all off their fucking nut.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's like the puzzle.
Like, what's the most convoluted solution this could possibly have? That's probably it.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And so it's one of those things that I remember that's why some of those games would take me a year to play when I was a kid, because I would sit there and then just be like, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm going to go to something else. And I would come back to it. And then we'd sit around with friends and we'd all talk about it. Like, how do you do this? How do you do that? And if there was no YouTube, I couldn't just go to YouTube and look up a solution. So it was it's fun to relive that though. So I am enjoying it. I just have to get back into it.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much, honestly, all I've not and been playing. And then I just kind of did dabble a little more with Doom, like 20 minutes here and there. Other than that, not too much coming into the holiday week here.
Yeah.
So.
And Kathy,
God, I don't even remember.
what have you been spinning in your disc tray?
Trying to think what I've been playing. Hasn't been much. I kind of took a break from video games. I was getting kind of gamed out, surprisingly. Trying to think of what I played. I don't even remember the last time we met, so I can't even tell you what
2 weeks
the last
ago.
games
Fortnite.
I played. Well, yeah. Well, of course, Fortnite. Yes. As you all kindly remind me of how much you all hate Fortnite.
I heard there's some Stranger Things shit happening in Fortnite.
Yes.
I wouldn't know because I don't watch Stranger Things, but yes, I have read that.
I don't either. I heard it was a thing going on.
Which one surprised me with the new season? With the new season of Stranger Things starting, we're also coming to the end of season 9. Is that when we're on? I don't even know. I've lost count. It's been over a year since I played, and I don't even know where we're at. But we do have 2 more weeks for challenges, and then that'll be all. We'll be starting season 10. Holy shit. But other than that, I've been playing Skyrim, doing my Skyrim stories on Sundays. Thinking about adding an extra day just so I can get through this Dawnguard DLC quest as quickly as possible because I hate the vampires. They suck. But yeah, not much else. I've been actually trying to decide on different games to play, and I've got so many. But the problem is either you guys have mentioned that you're going to play them, or they're games I've already played or you're already playing. Because like with Larry playing, sorry I'm gonna spoil, but with you playing Hollow Knight, I kind of want to restart Hollow Knight and start restreaming it on my channel.
Go for
I
it.
also want to do. We need to get back into BioShock.
Yes.
I want to continue with that one. I gotta finish Doom. It just has not been. It hasn't been really intriguing me. The newer one, the new release.
2016.
Because I started playing it on our channel, and I got so far, and then and that was probably back in January.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
a long
I don't know
time.
how many, yeah.
Doom is
So-
a game that you literally gotta play day by day and like literally like power through it because it is really good.
It was good. I just Fortnite. Let's be honest. Fortnite is what a lot of my viewers come to watch, and
Sure.
so that's why I play it more than any other game. I mean, it's like we've talked about. Fortnite is a lot of kids play it, and I'm a very family-friendly streamer, so I get all the kids coming to my channel to watch.
Look,
So,
I gotta power through Wolfenstein 2 before Youngbloods come out. I'm like, I gotta get through this issue. I'm still gonna beat the first Wolfenstein.
so
Wow, you better get going, Eddie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll probably do it Friday. Once I
There
get
are-
home.
I also have tons of games on my Switch that I really want to play, but I can't because our controllers are messed up, and I got to get some new Joy-Cons. So that's been kind of holding us back a little bit. But I picked up all the new games from Epic. I did pick up Dauntless, which is, I guess, very similar to Monster Hunter. I have yet to get into it. I'm hoping to maybe do that this weekend. Yeah, I've been picking up all the free games as they come out with from Epic. So I've got tons of games. I think that's the problem. I've got too many games, and I don't know where to start. So, and I want to go back to ones I've already played, but at the same time, I know I should play some of these other ones. So yeah.
My friends be talking about Dead Space, and I need to get through 1 or 2. I need to get that so I can get it off.
Dude, you and I were gonna fucking race each other through Dead Space.
Right, and you never. I've been on, and you've never called me. You never hit me up for.
Here we go again, Josh. Get the popcorn again.
Oh hell.
I got it.
Okay, guys, save this for later. All right, nobody wants to hear your guys whining about what you were gonna do and not do, and everybody knows we have lives. So.
I know.
Yeah,
well, we have
that's
lives.
really it.
Eddie has whatever the hell he does.
Well, no, I'm not going to say what he told us about earlier. So.
What?
Oh, Eddie, don't say, Eddie, just let it go. Just let it go.
Eddie Bigelow,
Let it go. Leave me. You don't want to go that way.
Look, that was Josh and Larry that said the other side.
It was not fucking me, thank you.
Yes, it was you.
The hell it was.
All right, people, for context, this all goes back to a conversation we had in our group chat. And it just has to involve mowing lawns. That's all I'm going to say. That's it. God. You cannot bring this up and not tell people what on a podcast and not tell people what.
I know.
That's
All
why
right,
I didn't
here's the
say
point.
anything.
Josh decided that we could whore Eddie out for mowing lawn. They could save for a jockstrap.
Because Eddie said that.
My only comment in the chat was Eddie for hire.
Yep.
All I was talking about how I didn't want to mow my backyard. That's it. And how I was afraid I was going to die. And I
We're
just
all
asked
gonna
Eddie.
That is a legit concern at this point, though, because fuck me, it is too damn hot and humid.
It
It's
is.
cold.
Yeah.
And then the storm started coming while I was
Mowing.
mowing.
Come
But
on.
thankfully it was
That
just
means
rain.
you have to move to the center of the lawn to be safe.
Were you doing the front yard?
Honestly,
Come on,
Larry,
that's good.
Larry, I was thinking back to our conversation earlier about your friend. So that was the first thought that went through my head. So I'm like, that ain't. How ironic would it be if that happened to me while mowing my lawn?
Well, like I said, if you just get to the center of the lawn, you're safe.
I have a big tree there. The tree would have fallen on me first.
Well, you just got to build a fort all the way up to the tree and be safe.
Yeah, you're not helping.
No, I'm not, but I'm here.
But you know what? I love the fact that nobody would give a shit if I died. Thank you.
I didn't say that. I said
never
the
said
center
that.
of the lawn.
Well,
to
I
avoid
didn't say you
storms.
said that, Josh. I didn't say you said that, Eddie. I'm talking about the loser who's in the bottom of my screen. Or, well, top, depending on what you're looking at.
I don't know what the arrangement on your screen is. So.
I've got so many different fucking arrangements that I'm looking at right now, it doesn't matter. I've got Skype in front of me, I've got the podcast to my right. Damn it. If I had a third screen, shit, I'd be all over the place.
Oh, hell. Alright, so I played some stuff. What did I play? I've been not recently. It might happen tonight, actually. I'm feeling a little froggy. there's been some Euphoria happening on World 1-1 Plays. And if you guys haven't checked it out yet, you should. It's great if it's time to wind down.
Yes, it puts you to sleep. Larry has a good voice for that game. Puts you right to sleep. I'm serious. The last time you played it, I had it on and I fell asleep within like 5 minutes. My husband came in. He's like, "What the hell are you listening to?" I'm like, "Larry's playing a game and it's very soothing."
It is
like,
though. It's
it is.
The background music is like fucking spot on for it. It's super mellow. It's a real-time strategy game with asteroids and plants.
Yeah, not my type of game, but definitely if you're looking for some ASMR or something to help you go to sleep, watch it. Do the repeats.
RTS is a fucking weird genre for me. I like RTS games, but I'm no fucking good at them, so I don't ever play them. Euphoria is one of the very few exceptions. The only other weird exception to that, and I haven't touched it in like 10 years, is Darwinia. So I did okay-ish with Darwinia, but Euphoria is the one that I can actually do okay with. I'm starting to get to the point where I'm actually hitting some fucking resistance. I'm having to remember strategies that I haven't thought of in like 8 fucking years. So I'm kind of going, okay, try this one. Okay, that one didn't work. We got to try the next thing. So,
Right.
but, and graciously, that game does have like speed control. So you can just up the pacing all the way around, which is nice. But no, it's a fucking good game. I think
it is.
Yeah. It was good enough that it got an HD re-release long ago when HD was first emergent, because I've actually got the original and what I've been playing is the HD version. They just, prettied up a little bit, but it's fundamentally the same game. Also, speaking of old things, even though it's not technically old, it kind of looks the part in a weird aesthetic choice. Finally cracked open Abduction from Cyan Worlds, that the makers behind Myst.
Oh yeah, how is that?
Well,
Uh-oh.
It's not a glowing report.
Oh no.
okay. So, I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about this, truth be told. I had to fucking restart it because I started dinking with it once just to check it, right?
Sure.
And I realized I had like some shit working in the background. I'm like, I wonder if I'm like taxing my fucking rig too hard. So I fucking restarted it once that shit had stopped, and and I'm like, okay, no, it's still doing. That's a fucking weird choice. So, Josh, you'll appreciate this. This would feel right at home in Command Prompt. I shit you not.
Yes.
At least like 50% of it would.
Okay.
I'll phrase it that way. So, visually, it looks like a mid to late 90s PC game.
Right.
About halfway. But there are other parts that, like, just for a second, look super clean and smooth, like they look legit contemporary. And it's really fucking weird juxtaposition. But overall, it generally holds to like that mid-90s. You can tell what everything is, but you can definitely see like all the fucking pixels that make everything up.
I gotcha.
I'm sure there's fucking context to it, and I started getting just enough of the story to start getting that context. Like, you get dropped into this weird Old West mining town kind of thing, but it's not the fucking Old West. Like, if you look up, you'll realize there's like floating rocks and the sky is a fucking weird color, and off in the distance, there's points where you can like butt up against the bounds of this town, and alien terrain literally just like comes up to the boundaries and fucking stops flat, like it's a fucking wall that just got cut off, like sheared straight off, and you can't move through this shimmering force field that surrounds it. It's fucking strange. It's good strange, but it's fucking strange. So
at least you learned how to run.
Right, yeah.
Oh my
So
god. I'm telling you, I was getting frustrated watching this.
Wait,
Okay.
what?
Shut the fuck up. I'm getting there. I love you. So I started playing this thing mouse and keyboard. And
That's his excuse.
I'm not going to make an excuse, but I'm going to tell you something. You're going to fucking laugh at me, especially you, Kathy. Because you PC more than me, considerably. But, so this is how much I don't mouse and keyboard. Yeah, brace yourself for this glowing, shining nugget of idiocy. Like, okay, I know my mouse is my camera, my look around, yada yada. So I'm mousing around, and I've got my fucking, fingers on the arrow keys moving around. I'm like, how the fuck don't my left and right arrow keys move me left and right? Like, the up and down will move me forward and back. Left and right arrow keys don't move me left. I'm like, what the? It took me 15 minutes to realize I need to put my damn hand on the WASD.
Wow.
Oh man, too bad Dylan's not here.
I know.
Oh my
That's
god,
the crime of the
Larry.
fucking Dylan missed
You
it.
weren't even using the WASD.
No, he's using the arrow
You were
key.
using the damn fucking arrow. Nobody uses the damn fucking arrow key.
I use the arrow keys, and I shouldn't, considering this is my keyboard.
Oh my god.
So I'm about 25 minutes in.
Well, that explains a lot. Shit.
So I'm about 25 minutes in. And I think to myself, I wonder if this thing just has automatic controller settings. So I picked up my controller and turned it on. I'm like, oh, look, it does. I'm suddenly much happier playing this on my controller than I was with a mouse and keyboard. To which I'm sitting there going, I'm like, start pressing a couple extra buttons. Like, oh, I hit the shoulder button. I'm like, yay, there's a run button.
Thank God. That
Cassie's
game.
not wrong, thank God.
Yeah. Oh my God.
The walk speed is killer. Jesus.
It was bad.
The walk speed was worse than Witness. Though, to be fair, the walk speed in Witness is fucking deliberate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
No, it was.
for
it was.
abduction, not so much. It's just obtuse.
But even in the Witness, you could pick up the pace. For
Right.
abduction, I'm sitting there thinking like, oh God, if this is the speed you were walking, this game is gonna take forever and it's gonna suck.
Uh-huh. Though, like I said, there's enough of the story that I've got thus far that interests me, and I will keep going with it. Also, let's see, I've
Where's
no...
the WADS? Oh my God. Ron.
If it makes you feel any better, I know where that clip is going, and you should now too.
Lord help us.
So, I picked up an old drug habit that I had managed to kick for a little while. I started playing Dead Cells again.
Wow.
God. I was wondering where you were going with that. Shit.
I started working on a...
This is what happens when we don't see each other for like 2 weeks, people. Okay, just saying.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Poor
That's
Josh
all right.
is looking like, oh God, why am I here?
No, I'm good. I'm just catching up on social.
Hell.
Oh, are we not being social enough for you? Thanks.
Like, So I decided I was going to start challenging myself, and I turned on the first boss cell and just getting my ass kicked repeatedly. I did do some. I managed to unlock the what is it, the scribe's mirror or whatever the fuck it is. But there's a mirror that you can unlock that shows up at the very beginning of every run, and I couldn't figure out what the fuck it was. So I looked it up. I'm like, what is this thing for? What does it do? I figured out.
That was like one of the first things I did.
No, I didn't, but it wasn't that critical to me. But so I finally
I'm just
looked.
Surprised. It was kind of like just popped up. Sorry.
No, it was something that I ended up having to feed cells into, and it wasn't a priority.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. I couldn't remember how I got it, yeah.
Yep. So this mirror shows up at the beginning of the run, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I looked it up. Apparently, it will show you enemies that still have blueprints that you haven't gotten from them yet. So it's your indication that if it shows you an enemy that you know is in the run that you're going to be in, like some of them don't show up until you get more boss cells. Because there's like new enemies and different boss cell iterations. Which fuck the fucking mole rat people with the poison knives. That's just bullshit.
Yeah, no kidding.
Those are fucking garbage. But in any case, so if you see one in there that you know you're going to come across in your run, that's your clue to grab the hunter's grenade, so that you can kick so you can kick the fucking blueprint out of them. So I learned something. I'm also still trying to figure out. So I've gone through the Rise of the Giant DLC. I've gotten through the caves. I've killed the giant, and I've been told that there's supposed to be another entry point into the cave through the Slumbering Sanctuary, and I can't fucking find it. I am fucking stumped. I want to know where the hell it is, because I hate going the other route to get to it. I want to play the cave some more, but I hate the route that I have to take to get to the fucking cave. I would rather find the fucking the entrance in the Slumbering Sanctuary, because I like playing the Sanctuary. So, but I've been challenging myself with a single boss cell activated, and it is kicking my ass. The other night, I managed to get as far as the clock tower before I started getting tired and then sloppy and then fucked up and died. But that's as far as I've managed to get in a one boss cell run. I will fucking get it. I will. It's just a matter of nailing it down and refining shit. Because on top of like throwing in new enemies and cranking up the difficulty and shit, you've now got to like uber manage your health potions.
Yes. Because
you can't refill your health potions after every biome. You can only refill it like once every 2 or 3 biomes.
Really?
It has to be every 3. It has to be every 3 because I got two biomes and then.
Yeah, it gets fucking rough with that health potion bullshit, which means you've got to start changing up your game on your mutations. So one of the ways I found to try and counterbalance it a little bit, it's not one that I would normally put in the mix because it's not inside of the purple skill tree. But I've started mixing in the necromancy, vampire, whatever the hell it is. It's one of the green ones where for every time you kill an enemy, you get like a portion of a percentage point of health back. Yeah. So I'm using that to try and counterbalance a little bit. I've also got to remind myself to just start fucking slowing down. Because I'm in single boss cell. I've beaten Hand of the King. I have the fucking homunculus rune. If I use that more, I would probably be fine. But it's so slow. It's so slow to use the fucking homunculus rune. Mm-hmm. But it's effective. It's just takes for damn ever. So, and I get impatient. I'm like, I want to kill shit. I want that rhythmic, ass whooping. So, but there's that. And I want to say last but not least, think so. Yeah. I've been playing some more Hollow Knight on World 1-1 Plays as well. Was it last night? Might have been last night. Yeah, I think it was last night. I was working on some, and we got up to the Mantis Lords, and that's where I stopped because it was getting late, and I was getting my ass handed to me. So I guarantee you, if I go back to it, it's going to be the fucking Omega Metroid all over again. I'm going to go back to it, and first go, it's good. And that's the bitch of it. Like I said on stream and on World 1-1 Plays, the Mantis Lords fight is one of my 2 favorite boss fights in all of Hollow Knight. It's just so rhythmic.
Yep.
Just got to catch that rhythm. And it's just, it flows so well. It's like, it bounces so wonderfully. There's something very cathartic about it. But it's a phenomenal fucking fight. But yeah, no, Hollow Knight will forever grab me. It's been wonderful getting back into. I know I kind of had I broke away from it for a hot minute, thinking around some other stuff. World 1-1 Plays like Abduction and Euphoria, and I'm working through all of those kind of simultaneously. I've also been trying to figure out how to rebalance stuff because my schedule has been all over the fucking place because everything has been upended on multiple sides. But I'm working on it. I'm working my way through it. In any case, but Hollow Knight will probably be the first game that gets finished. I'm probably going to pound on that one the hardest, and followed by Euphoria, and then probably Abduction is the low priority. But I don't want to get any more than the 3 games going that I have right now.
Yeah, good idea.
Otherwise, everything becomes fucking unmanageable. But there is stuff on my list for World 1-1 Plays. Like, once one of them gets picked off, and it's probably going to be Hollow Knight. That's just the flowing game. The next one on that list is going to be Transistor.
Oh, okay.
So, which we'll fuck it. We're here. Let's talk Transistor for a hot second because we were talking physical editions briefly. Everybody knows that I have a fucking hard-on for limited run games. But I was all pumped for the special edition of Transistor and figuring, all right, whatever it is, that big-ass box is going to have something hella fucking cool in it. Yeah, not so much. Like, they finally put out what all's in the big box. I looked at them like, that's it? I felt thoroughly disappointed. I felt simultaneously disappointed and kind of happy because Jesus, like, my wallet can't take that fucking hit right now. It can't. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't feel bad about fucking missing out on this one little bit. I'm like, there's open pre-orders for like 2 weeks on standard edition. I'll just grab a standard and we're good. Cool. I can still put it on my shelf and have it on my Switch because that's one that I've managed to not double dip on. I have not bought the digital of that yet. So, I'm still holding out on Bastion too because god damn it. It's got to be coming. LRG has done Bastion on Vita and PS4. So, I'm flummoxed that this shit has not happened yet.
They probably won't do it. They probably won't do it till like later on in the year.
So I'm a little surprised they didn't announce it at all at E3, but whatever. So, anyways, but that's I think that's most of what I've been playing. That sounds right. Oh, yeah, and I've been digging around with Transcripted some more still. That game still holds my attention. Transcripted. Did we talk? I swear we talked about Transcripted, right? Yes,
I don't remember.
Okay. Oh, good. If we haven't, Transcripted is fucking fun and exciting. I swear we've talked about this, but fuck, it's been 2 weeks. I don't care. We're doing it again. So, Transcripted takes 2 genres and meshes them together in a way that should not work, but fucking does really well. So, like the match 3 marble shooter games? Where there's like the fucking chain
Oh,
of...
yeah.
Yeah, that shit.
Yes.
Take that and mix with twin stick shooter. You get transcripted. It's really fucking neat. So, it's the match 3 is like you're inside cells under a microscope kind of thing, and it's all this like DNA chain shit going on, and you're trying to stop a virus, yada yada yada. The story is actually not bad, truth be told, which is more than I should be able to say for a strange budget indie game, but the story is actually pretty decent. The voice acting's good. The characters are funny. But in any case, in particular, the artificial intelligence is actually funny. She has some unexpected snark that I really enjoy. But so you're running around these levels, and you're twin stick shooting, and as you kill stuff, some of them will drop the little colors that you then pick up, and while you're carrying the color, the little color block, you suddenly become basically invincible or invisible, or both actually, to all the other enemies floating around. They don't give a shit about you, and everything bounces off you. Hooray. And you've then got to shoot it into the DNA chain to start breaking the DNA chain down by pulling off match 3s on it. And they even managed to work in like actual legit boss fights, which are really fucking cool. They start throwing a fucking wrench in the works and making you work backwards, to where instead of doing match 3s to break down the DNA chain, the story takes a turn, and the virus is starting to try and deconstruct itself so that you can't figure it out as to what's going on in the story. And so you're inside trying to stop the match 3s. So you're sitting there pulling blocks and trying to fucking interject them to break up chains instead. And it now, instead of becoming, fill the meter, it's run the clock out without the meter filling, because the virus is trying to do the match 3s, and you've got to stop it from making the combos to break the DNA chain up. I'm like, this is fucking cool. Way to take an idea, and instead of wearing it into the ground, turn it on its fucking ear and do something neat with it. All inside of the same game. And it's kept me going. It's got it's got like skill trees that you can pump up abilities and shit too. So like the bigger combos that you pull off and breaking down the DNA chain, you get more experience points that you can then funnel into upping your abilities and shit. It's my only gripe about this game is I wish the fucking text was bigger. That's it.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So, but no, it's dirt ass cheap, and it's really fucking solid. So there's a 2 thumbs up recommendation. Get transcripted. Seriously. It reminds me of another fucking game that was on 3DS, and I am blanking on the fucking title. I swear I've got it. It's gonna drive me nuts. I'll figure it out later. Anyways, but it was like Nano something or other. Yeah, that's what I've been playing. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So that means unless anybody else has anything to throw in, here's a good time for us to say break. And welcome back to the third half of the show. This week we're going to deep dive into a topic that got floated across our Facebooks today. By way of, was it Kotaku?
Yeah, Kotaku.
Yes.
Okay. So there was, I don't know, we'll call it an opinion piece, I suppose.
It is.
Editorial, whatever. That got floated out.
Before you go, Larry, the reason why I said Polygon, they did almost the same story, but they was crediting the people who came up with the name, so that's why.
Oh, okay. So, the story floated across all of our Facebook feeds in the last day or so, and I've been racking my brain on it today, and I still haven't come up with a good solution, which fucking irritates me. But we're talking terminology this week. An article came up that basically said that Metroidvania. We lost video. Okay, she's still there. So
I switched cameras. I figured I'd give you the better camera
okay,
instead of the shitty camera.
it's all good. I was like, wait, did we look that? So
Nope.
anyways, I'm just gonna assume you're still there, even if it blips in and out, whatever. Fuck it. So, this.
Wow.
This-
Sorry.
So this article is talking about how Metroidvania is a terrible term because it's
inaccurate. Is what they're saying. You kind of.
Yeah.
Well, not so much that it's inaccurate per se, but the thing is, if you talk to anybody outside of video games,
They don't
have
know what you're
no
talking.
idea what the fuck it means, and he's
Yeah.
not wrong. That's the thing.
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
You know, I mean, if you talk to somebody that's not a fucking film buff and say, I like comedy movies, you know, you understand what the fuck they mean. Metroidvania is contingent on knowing already some history and vernacular of gaming specifically. There's other genres that don't rely on that. You've got first-person shooter that's pretty fucking descriptive. You know, puzzle games, strategy games. You know, they all, except for this genre, is very jargon specific or slang specific.
But it fits. The thing with Metroidvania is that you can't even tell a person an adventure game, because if you're speaking to someone who's not on console, you've said an adventure game, they're going to think of point and click, because that was that genre that it was.
Right.
So Metroidvania, for those who don't know, it takes the name of two particular games, the Metroid series and
They're
the
listening to this
Castlevania
show. I
series.
guarantee you they know.
Right, but in case of people don't know, Metroid is a Nintendo property about a female space hunter named Samus, and she goes on bounty hunts and stuff. But she's always finding more power ups and making her suit stronger that she uses. Castlevania deals with a family called the Belmonts versus Dracula, who always resurrects every 100 years. And there's different games in each series that have used a different formulas in how you go about the game. And so back in 2003, I think two former editors, Jeremy Parrish and Scott Sharkey from RunUp.com, they did an episode about Metroid and Castlevania, and they came up with the term Metroidvania. So that's how everything, and then people just started using that for games that have that adventure exploration style to make it easier, Metroidvania game. So that's some of the background. You mentioned, Larry, comedy. Well, people who may not be into movies may know comedy from sitcoms, may know comedy also from stand-up. But what if it's a movie that's super bad, that's supposed to be very dramatic and stuff? People gonna see that as a comedy, because they claim that as that it's so bad it's good kind of style. So you may say comedy, and I might think, oh, like Punisher Warzone or the Snowmaker or something like something stupid like that. They may find it as comedy if we're talking in terminology.
I don't know. I'm not feeling your argument, truthfully here.
But you mentioned movies and you said comedy. Some people, when we're talking about terminology, for people who are not into something, you're going to express something about it, but they might not care because that hobby or that kind of entertainment might not be for them. There might be people who are not into movies but into books. And they may be like, I like to read this certain kind of book. What's a comedy? or is that supposed to be sarcastic, where those jokes weren't funny?
Well, and don't get me wrong, comedy's subjective, but still,
Is it?
you know, even if it's not your brand of comedy per se,
At the
you
basis,
still
you know what it
fucking
is.
know- yeah.
Right, and I think Metroidvania still has a basis, but if people are not into that entertainment, they're not gonna know. They're not gonna know what a first-person shooter is. They may think of a first-person shooter as something that Fox News might be telling them. Because some people might not be into video games, and
Kathy,
someone
you want to
watching.
take that one?
But let me
My
explain.
brain is still
Correct.
trying to.
Let me explain.
No, go
For-
ahead, because I'm trying to think of
Okay.
where you're going with this. Okay,
when,
please
when,
explain.
when Larry said, if you try to speak to a person who don't know nothing about video games, about a Metroidvania, they're not going to understand what you're saying. But what about parents who don't understand video games and see Fox News and they're using first-person shooters for school shootings? They're going to continue to think that all first-person shooters is training their child to be actual killers. And that's not the purpose of it or anything.
Okay, but I still don't understand how that pertains.
Saying that if you are talking to a person about first-person shooters who know nothing about video games, they may get their information from some other source that is completely wrong.
But they will understand what a first person. I think
They would connect first-person shooters though because of Fox
No.
News to school shooters. I'm just
where
saying.
are you going with this? Because
I'm-
that is completely the.
I don't have
You've
enough
gone
breadcrumbs to find
180.
my way
Let me-
home.
I'm using it as an example is because there are the adults who don't understand video games, no genre at all.
Okay, but
Correct.
if you tell them, okay, first person shooter, they know it's a game where you don't see the character, you have the field, you have a gun, and you're shooting at bad guys. That's what we're talking about.
Right,
Okay?
but if a parent doesn't know anything about that, they won't make that connection. They may heard first-person shooters and connect that automatically to school shootings.
Wait! How does this pertain to the whole Metrovania article we just read?
Because Larry said if you tell someone about Metrovania game who doesn't play video games, they're not going to understand what you're
Okay.
saying.
Because you
I'm
know
on
why? No. Because I think what Larry was trying to get at, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Larry. We all have grown up, especially like Josh and I. We grew up with Metroid. We
Mhm.
grew up with Castlevania.
Yes.
We now have a younger generation of
Mhm.
gamers, and I'm going to use one of our cast members, Adele, as an example.
Yes.
She doesn't understand the term Metroidvania because she's never played a Metroid game. She's never played a Castlevania game.
Right.
Those are not her games. So she would not
Right.
know what a
So
Metroid. So if she hears the term Metroidvania, she's going to have no clue. But if she hears things like first person shooter, RPG, RTS, she's going to know that because it explains the type. Metroidvania is being used to describe games that are similar
Well,
to
then that's
Metroid and the Castlevania games. But if you've never played
right,
those
and that's
games, you're
and
going to
that's
have no
separate.
clue. So that's why that article is written, to talk about how can
But
we.
that's separate
what
from
kind
what
of
Larry. But that's separate from what Larry said. Larry said
that-
if you have never played a video, it sounded like what Larry said is if you never played a video game, trying to speak to them about a Metroidvania, they're not going to understand what that is.
If
He didn't
you've
say
never
if you
played a
speak
video
to a-
game and
Right.
you say, I'm into Metroidvania games,
Nobody
somebody's gonna
knows
look
what you're
at you
talking
cock-
about.
Right.
Right.
But
Now,
he said,
I'm going to
said,
argue your point here.
right. But
Hear me.
Kathy is saying that if you're speaking to another gamer who doesn't play that genre
No,
or
I'm-
understand that genre, that's two separate things. Larry said it's talking to somebody who don't play video games at all, who knows nothing about it. So
it's
that's
the
why.
same thing, though. It applies to both
That's
sides
not wrong
because
there either, actually.
But
What?
if you're a gamer,
it
you're gonna
applies to yeah, but not all gamers.
you have heard of it. You have heard
Well,
of it. I mean,
Maybe,
you might,
maybe not.
You have.
There's a lot
heard
of kids.
that.
There's a lot of kids that I play with who have never seen a Metroid game. They've come in and watched Larry play AM2R, and Larry's had to explain what
Shit,
Metroid.
we had Cruz in the stream last night.
And he was asking about Hollow Knight. So what? So even I'm talking about in general. The
Mhm.
problem with the Metroidvania title is that it's specific to two types of games that if you haven't played, you have no clue what that means. So to say a game is a Metroidvania could be very confusing to all people, whether you're a gamer or not a gamer. And I think that's where that article was going. But how else do we describe? I guess that's the
Right.
I
question.
think
What
I think
is-
Metro. I think
What is
Metro.
the best game or best way to say
I
what
think
type
Metro-
of game this is?
I think Metroidvania is fitting. You can't. I said that adventure game because for some people they still call point and click stuff adventure games. You can't call Metroid or an exploration game because that's the same thing that you may do in Grand Theft Auto. That you're exploring this open world and you're fighting things to help you get better.
But I think it's described differently. That's described as more of an
Right.
open world exploration, where this would
Right.
be you could
But if
say
you
something
say-
where 2D platformer exploration.
Right, but some people call like Tomb Raider a exploration kind of game, in a sense, and that kind of has some Metroid stuff. When you get a new weapon or something, you could go back to past areas and use that to progress to make you better, to make you stronger. That has a Metroidvania sense to, meaning that the Metroid part comes from you finding a new ability that you're going to use against the boss or in that level, and you could use that for other parts of the game. But
What if
I think
somebody didn't know what Metroid was and what Castlevania was?
I think people
is-
would ask. I think people would ask what.
How do
what-
you explain it to them?
I think
How
people
do
would
you
ask.
explain what Metroidvania means?
All right,
Which-
Eddie,
Uh-huh.
here. I'm gonna roll it back just a minute, and I'm gonna counter something you said. First-person shooter. If you're not a gamer, I can say first-person shooter, and you can immediately piece together at least a rough idea of what the fuck's happening. And here's why. It tells you two things. It tells you two major crux points. One, it tells you what the hell is happening in this game. You're shooting shit. We're halfway there. Two, it tells you the perspective from which it is taking place.
But
From a first-person perspective, you put
but-
those two things together,
Shut
you
up,
have
Eddie.
a basic
Listen.
fucking framework.
But I'm just saying. But if a person who has watched Fox News has heard first-person
Fox
shooter,
News has nothing to do
Hold
with it.
It has
I'm just
nothing to do with
I-
that.
but
Eddie!
I'm saying, hold on, just hear me out. For people, if people have heard something else that you have not ever explained to them, or Josh might have dropped out, might have been.
You did.
Oh,
Nice back.
if you
This
have
got
heard,
so fucked. Josh literally didn't have enough breadcrumbs to find his way home.
if you have,
Josh got
as
so
an adult-
lost his internet got lost.
as an adult, and I have, of course, like I said, I have worked in the toy industry where I have to explain almost every genre. When I have talked to people about Call of Duty, they see Call of Duty as something that's teaching their kids to kill. They don't understand what the premise of a first-person shooter is. It's a style of gameplay. It's a style of gameplay. But if they haven't heard of that, they may say that, oh, this is something that may train my kid to kill because of this school shooting or whatever. I have had parents say that to me, and I have been trying to explain what a first-person shooter is. So, because they heard most of that stuff from some other form of news organization or some other kind of entertainment, they apparently haven't spoke to a gamer to get that breakdown. They got that definition of breakdown for something that is not truly, representative of what that actual genre or that style of gameplay is. From a parent trying to explain to them, you may be able to say that to a kid. They would know what a first-person shooter is because the kid is telling their parent, "I want Call of Duty Black Ops 4," because they know that their friends are playing it. They probably seen it on TV and thought that it was cool and everything. Parents not gonna know that. Oh, did we lose both of them?
No, I'm here. Kathy's here.
Oh. So
I muted my mic so I don't talk over you. I'm
Oh.
trying to. I had my say.
sorry.
Josh wants to say something. I want him to be able to say it
Go ahead.
because
My
I am
takeaway from
feeling
this-
very strong about this, Eddie. Because
But-
you're
but-
missing the damn point.
But when Larry's talking about terminology, when you are someone who works in retail and you have to speak to adults who don't know none of this terminology, you have to use that to explain. You have to know those genres in order to explain to them because they don't know video games like we know. Even if we are gamers and we don't play a certain genre and don't know fully about it, we have in some capacity have heard of it. So all we have to do is ask more questions to get a better understanding of it, is what I'm saying. Josh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Josh is momentarily disconnected.
He's kind of having the same problems I was.
Oh, going in and out.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
So-
'cause yeah, he's frozen on my screen.
Yeah. So here's my challenge. This is what I've been racking my fucking brain on.
Mhm.
So, subject aside, find me a better fucking term. I'm sitting here. I'm like, there's got to be a non-slang jargon way to title this genre, and I'm not sure what it is, but it's got to fucking be there. You've got to be able to take the base components of what makes the genre the genre.
To actually tell you the truth, I really can't say. I think Metroidvania is pretty much fitting of it because it comes from two well-known games for people who know about them.
Right.
And I don't think you could just say or exploration because that's kind of general and there's other games that you explore, that you do some kind of form of exploring. I think it depends on what that style of Metroidvania is going to be. Is it going to be almost close to Castlevania, or is it going to be almost close to Metroid? Because Metroid has a particular sense of how that game is designed. And normally in Metroid games, you have powers, but you lose them, and you have to go throughout that planet to regain those powers to make yourself stronger to survive.
Non-linear single map exploratory.
That's too long for people to say.
It's about as many syllables as Metroidvania.
But then the thing about but even Metroid is linear in a sense.
Japanese role playing is a little long.
Right. And then role playing games are in other elements of a lot of first person shooters. Take Call of Duty.
Not?
Yes it is. Yes it is. And in Call of Duty you actually level up. That's one of the main parts of role playing games.
Destiny would
So,
actually
'cause-
be a good one. For that.
Destiny, right. And you know
Can
what
you?
they consider
Okay, I being somebody who's never played a Call of Duty or anything like that, do you create your own character?
Yeah, for
Okay.
I think some of them now you can. And even if you don't create a character, when you finish a match, you level up, and you get
I don't
strong.
think the leveling up is what makes a role playing. I think it's the fact that
That's-
you can make.
it's-
I think it's you can be whatever you want to be and
But
play a certain role. It is not specific to leveling up
They call it RPG
then-
elements.
because
For-
but they don't
of
call it a
RPG
role playing
mechanics.
game. They don't call
Right.
it a role playing game.
To call
So don't you?
to call it a full role playing game, no. But for a level up, they call it. They said this game contains
First
RPG
person
elements.
shooters.
Huh?
That's why they call it first person shooters.
Right,
Damn
but
it.
they always say like, well, that's the thing with like Larry said, Destiny, like they're now calling it MMO, but Bungie wasn't calling it an MMO; they was calling it a first-person shooter. But everything about it is that you work with other people online, and you gain levels, the same style that an MMO does. In a sense, it's just the perspective is different.
They've been genre subclassed though as like MMO FPS.
Right.
Mhm.
But then they wasn't using the MMO title or genre name. They were just using FPS for it.
So
And that's what Bungie was saying, that I think because of Activision.
So I think it goes back to, what do we call those type of games that fall into that Metroidvania? What is a better term for it? Because
I
and
don't
that's
think
the
there
thing.
is.
I do. Like I said, we're moving away from the Metroid games. Not everybody knows what a Metroid game is, and they keep changing. And the Metroid games have been different. Metroid Prime games, they're first-person shooters, technically.
Well,
They're not
consider
Metroidvanias.
they consider those as first-person adventures.
Okay, but
And that's what
but it's not a
Prime games-
Metroidvania. So how
Even
can
the
you call
Prime
something?
games
It's-
are.
The
Because
Prime
it
games,
does follow the same underlying structural element. Even though you've changed perspective,
it
it's
still follows
still
the Metroid.
the non-linear backtracking permanent upgrade progression.
Right, and they don't really consider Metroid Prime as part of the Metroidvania
But
series.
you can't
'Cause
use
it doesn't-
the name. But that's
it-
just it. It confuses people.
It
The people who might only know the Metroid Prime
Mhm.
games, they're going to expect a Metroidvania to be very similar to a Metroid Prime.
I think when I was
That's why
saying,
it needs to change.
I think when they say for the Vania part is when you're doing the level up section. Cause the thing about it is that with the Vania parts and like Symphony of the Night, you can level up by actually fighting, because that's the role
So,
play
we're
element
talking
when you
about-
get your level. But it's also have jars that also add life to your HB to raise it up.
But I grew up on a different Castlevania. I did not grow up with the Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I know the original Castlevania, and there was
Yeah.
no level up. I
Yeah.
mean, the whip did, but it was a platformer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was very straight.
It was very straightforward. So
It
there's that
wasn't
problem.
until a couple entries later that they got into the non-linear single map.
Yeah, and I
So,
think it's
so again,
it's because of
That's
Super,
the problem
Super
with
Metroid.
that's the problem with calling something a Metroidvania. Even the Metroid and Castlevania games do not follow the same pattern per se, or have this are exactly the same. So
Metroid
call-
does, with like two minor exceptions.
Metroid would, I'd say it'd be more Metroid than Castlevania, yes, in the sense. But again, your 2D and your 3D are going to be, like you said, it's a little bit different. Like I said, if somebody only knows the Prime games, they're going to expect a Prime. If they hear Metroidvania, they're going to expect a Prime-looking game, and then be like, "What the hell am I playing?"
I think because of Metroid, I think a lot of people don't see that as a Metroidvania because of the Vania part, and it's probably because of the way that people look at Super Metroid. And people always, when they talk about Metroidvania games, they always go to Super Metroid as like the basis of it, like kind of the foundation. And because the way that Symphony of the Night came about, like, because I could still consider it a Metroidvania, but I always say Simon's Quest. The thing about it is Simon's Quest doesn't have the map style that Super Metroid has, that you could see kind of like in the corner. And definitely with the Vania games, you had that map. With Symphony of the Night, you could see it. But in Simon's Quest, you explore a non-linear kind of path. But it also had shops and stuff that you had to get. But it wasn't. But Simon's Quest wasn't level based, where it was like stage 1, stage 2. So you can't call it like Metroid Quest or something like that. That sounds like something like an indie game. But
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the Vania part of it comes from the fact that once they hit a point, it definitely kind of became ubiquitous. The formula for the Castlevania games kind of stuck to that one and didn't veer off once they hit it.
I think it's
obviously
like Lords
Symphony
of
of the Night
Shadow.
is where it hit critical mass.
Yeah, because it changed when it came Lord of Shadow, and it went into that God of War style. But like, even because I think Lord of Shadow is level based, I think. But the action and the fast-paced combat, they call it that like a God of War style game.
We lost Josh.
I know, I'm sad.
Damn it.
I wanted his opinion.
I know. I do too.
Josh! gosh, come back to us.
Trying to think of a way to worm him into this. I don't know.
That's why I was asking if he had it on his phone, if he had Skype on his phone, because...
He can Skype in from his phone.
Yeah, but he's not answering, so...
Oh. He's probably working on trying to get the lights and stuff back.
Yeah.
I think it's just the internet.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. I'm at a loss. I feel like there's got to be a better way. It's like I said, my brain is now sticking on.
Wait, Larry, can I ask you? Do you
can
want
always ask.
Do you want a better way so that people who don't play video games can understand it, or do you want a better way for people who are gamers who don't play that genre to understand it?
Both is relevant.
Because yeah, I was gonna say that's the same.
It would solve both.
But the thing about it is, gamers have more experience than people who don't play games at all, who don't know nothing about games.
Right, but if you can solve for the one, you can solve for both.
Yeah.
As long as you're solving for the right one.
But then they may have questions about that. That's
fine. Ask questions.
Well, people have questions about everything.
Baseline.
Yeah,
but it's better than saying Metroidvania. It's harder to explain a Metroidvania game than it is a first-person shooter or a role-playing game or a JRPG or a RTS. So that's where the problem comes into. How do you explain Metroidvania? And it takes a hell of a lot longer. You almost have to show the games to be able to explain it. So how could we find a way to make it easier for us to explain?
I think for any genre, that sometimes you have to show that because some people might think that RPGs and stuff and JRPGs are the same thing, and it's not. People might can you really consider Mass Effect a JRPG? For people who don't really know Mass Effect, they may think Mass Effect is a third-person shooter.
And again, but it gives them an idea of what to expect. But that gives a little bit more of what to expect. If they see Mass Effect and they see that you're a third person, if I said, we got to remember too, we don't have to, but if I said Mass Effect is a third person shooter, they know that they're going to be they're going to see the character and they're going to be shooting. That may not be exactly what it is, but that gives them a better idea of what they're going to be doing in the game. Now,
so we're talking more about gameplay.
I guess gameplay mechanics is more of what I think we need to look at it, as opposed to the type of. Maybe that's where we're going with this. Is that to explain more, to give people an idea of how the game is going to be played, as opposed to the type of genre it is. I think that's what people need to understand is if I were to give a word, what comes to mind? And while we play games all the time, we can go into depth. Like you were talking about, Call of Duty could be a first-person shooter with RPG elements.
Right.
But we don't need to do that for the general population. And I think that's the thing with this Metroidvania, is moving away from making it something that's so specific that is hard to explain into something that when people hear the word, they can picture in their mind what that game is going to look like. That's why with Call of Duty, if we say first-person shooter, immediately they can say, okay, this is what I'm getting into. So when they go to play the game, they understand it, and then they can discover all the rest of it.
So it has to be kind of like design versus gameplay, in a sense.
I'm thinking more gameplay, but because even with the Metroidvania, when I think of Metroidvania, what comes to my mind is Super Metroid and Super Castlevania. Those are the two games that come to my mind when I hear Metroidvania. But they're, like you said, Eddie, you're thinking of Symphony of Night, and there's other games out there that are in these series. But so that's where I'm at. And you might have a completely different view of what a Metroidvania game is on your end. So you and I could be talking to somebody. Somebody could come up to me and ask, what's a Metroidvania game? And I'll describe it based on how I know. then they ask you the exact same question and get a totally different answer and have a
Right.
totally different view of what a Metroidvania game is.
I know. I think one of the things we could definitely say where a Metroidvania is that there's no stages, that there's no level, that most video games are known for. You know, like stage 1, stage 2, for its type of game. There's no stages. Meaning that if I play Mega Man 1 and I go through Cutman, that's one stage, and then I select something else in that stage 2. It doesn't have a number kind of based stage. Everything is on one kind of area, in a sense, one big area, and it just have different parts that you explore with
And to
different
me-
things and elements.
And to me, Castlevania is a stage game because
Right.
because I'm like I said, I'm looking at Super Castlevania. It was in stages. So again, that's the problem we're having here is by saying something is a Metroidvania, there are so many different gameplay mechanics and so many different ways those games are played. The Metroid part like Larry said, stays pretty consistent, even with the Prime games. Okay. But when you add in that Castlevania, when we look at all the different Castlevanias, even the very first Castlevania to Castlevania 2, to back to Castlevania 3, then to Super Castlevania to Symphony of the Night, those games are so vastly different that to call something a Metroidvania really does not describe. It's very hard to picture what exactly is being said. The Metroid part can be pretty self-explanatory. So, but that Vania, that's where I think we're getting the sticky point, and and that's where I think the issue comes in trying to come up with a better term, because that Vania just is not very. There's just too wide of a variety of the Castlevania games to be able to actively call games Metroidvanias.
And I think when it comes to the Vania part, people are expecting, if you know more about the Metroidvania genre, in a sense, or kind of style games, is that you know something about Symphony of the Night. That's the expectation people would assume, hopefully. Where you just gotta tell them that it was a particular game back on the PlayStation, and yada yada, and go all about that way.
But I've never played it. So as somebody who's never played it but knows other Castlevania games, who's played the old school, how do I convey that?
That's the
issue.
I think the thing about it is that because you played the first couple of Castlevanias, because you said that you played it, people might make the assumption that you also play Symphony due to the fact because it's a Castlevania title. Because they hear the word Castlevania.
But going back, who do we need to make the term for? I don't think we need to make it for gamers. I think we need to make it for the everyday common person who maybe is not as familiar with games, the casual gamers, and the parents who have no clue what gaming is about. But we also have a lot of parents who do know what gaming's about. So that's the other thing we do need to remember. You know, there are I think there's fewer parents who don't know about gaming than there are parents who do know about gaming. I think parents are more aware and understand because the parents are more my generation, and we grew up in those days.
Yeah. I think Metroidvania is kind of is fitting for what it is now, and I think you really don't have to explain it to parents because most Metroidvanias are digital games. You don't see a lot of physical copies of a big Metroidvania style game. Like, even though we now have like Limited Run and other companies who's bringing like Axiom Verge and stuff out and everything, even though Axiom Verge is more Metroid, but that kind of style, or Time Spinners was a game that they call Metroidvania because it follows kind of that design and stuff. I think most of those games are digital, so unless you know your mom be like, hey mom, I want to buy Time Spinners on my Switch, and it's like $15, some parents might be like, oh okay, here you go. They probably won't even question it. or they buy them an eShop card or Xbox Live card or something. I think if there was more Metroidvania style games or that design games that was more physical out there that was popular, I think it would probably be easier to explain. Even Symphony of the Night, I think if that was more, I think it's available because I know Game Pass is getting it. But I think if it was like kind of on shelves right now and people talk to their parents about it, I think they might be like, okay, cool. But then kids could break it down to that's if kids even know what any kind of video game is. They just say, my friend is playing it and that's it.
I don't know.
There has to be a better way. Yeah.
And if anybody listening to our bullshit has a better suggestion, somebody fucking leave us a comment on this and tell us what the hell it is.
Please. I would love to hear what people have to say. And this is why I'm so mad that we can't hear Josh's, because I'm sure he had a good answer.
Well, we could still table the discussion here for him next week.
Well, and I will I'll see what I can do to edit in Josh's input on this post production. So we may not have it live to commentate on, but we'll see if we can get it in for post production. So with any luck, when we're done yammering, you're gonna hear Josh giving his thoughts here. So
yes.
With that being said, I think otherwise we're probably just gonna run in fucking circles.
Yeah.
So let's wrap this bitch up, and call it a night. Thank you to everybody that joined us this evening. Thank you to Eddie and Kathy both, and Josh, who is hopefully here in post-production as soon as we close this shit out.
I'm so sad.
I know. Other than that, find us in all the good places. If you're watching this on YouTube, you should, hit the subscribe button and ringy ding the notification bell. And I know everybody likes to say you should smash the like button. It just feels too violent. I feel like if you're going to do anything to it, you should maybe gently caress its inner thigh to try and turn it on.
Wow. That was a stretch.
Man, getting all smooth there. Damn.
Getting in the mood with some chocolate dipped strawberry Pop-Tarts.
Ooh, I'm working on those, by the way.
Wow.
I'm serious. Seriously. I'm seriously going to. I'm gonna make some. Make some. Send them to you guys with all my love.
What bread would you use for that? Graham crackers or something?
No, there's you use puff pastry.
Oh, it's just the regular pastry. Okay.
Yeah, like puff pastry. Cut it into squares. Fill it with your filling.
People could have fucking gotten on that too, actually.
I know. Yeah, toaster strudel. Oh God, I love toaster strudel. Okay. Anyhow, getting off topic.
So, if you're listening to us on audio, you should definitely subscribe to us on your platform of choice, be it Apple Podcasts, I think it is now, the Google Play Music Store. Throw us in your RSS feed or whatever podcatcher you happen to use. If you're catching us direct from Podbean at world11.podbean.com. We have all the cool stuff on our YouTube channel, including all the World 11 plays, command prompt, Dumb Leading the Blind, sites and strats. It's all happening. And we live stream most of this as we're making it on our delightful Twitch channel as well. So, but other than that, thank you to everybody that came and hung out with us. And we will all catch you next week here on World 11 Podcast. Good night, motherfuckers.
Good night.
Goodbye, everybody.